The aim of today is to take the Whizz wheel and make it mental, so that just by looking at the numbers you've got a very good idea to within plus or minus just a few degrees exactly the heading you need to fly to make your track. The track I've chosen will take 093 degrees, at a TAS of 103 knots, a wind direction of 050 degrees, with a velocity 30 knots. The first step here is we're figuring out something called our maximum drift. The way to do this is to take the wind velocity, times it by 60, divide it by TAS. Velocity is quite straightforward, we've seen that earlier, is 30 knots. Times 60. Might seem like quite a big calculation, but the easy thing to do here, 3 times 6, well that's 18, and we're just going to add those two zeros to the end, so that's 1800. Dividing it by 100, again pretty straightforward, we'll just get rid of all the zeros that match. Gives you 18. So our maximum drift we got there now is 18 degrees. Maximum drift is a quite straightforward concept. It simply is, if the wind was at 90 degrees to the aircraft's nose, how much do we drift? 18 degrees. And as the wind gets closer to the aircraft's nose, the amount of drift reduces. But by how much, that really is the question. The angle between the track and the wind, 93 degrees and 50 degrees, well, we'll subtract those two and that gives us 43 degrees. But that's still pretty meaningless. So what we're going to do is take a normal clock face and mark on some key points. 0, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and actually we'll stick 60 minutes back at the top here as well. We're also going to divide it into quarters just to make it a bit more visual. 43 degrees, well, let's stick that on that clock face. Right over here by 45. So we've converted 43 degrees into minutes, put it on the clock face, and now we're just going to colour in each quarter. So we're going around 1 quarter to 15, 2 quarters to 30, and now 3 quarters to 45. 3 quarters. Multiplying 3 quarters by our maximum drift over here will give us the drift for this particular wind. 3 quarters times 18, about 13 degrees. So we know that we're going to have to turn 13 degrees, but in which direction? Well, we're always going to have to turn towards the wind, and in this case the wind is less than the track. So because it's less, we're going to have to turn towards it. So we're going to have to turn towards a lower number from a higher number. Therefore we're going to have to decrease it. 93 our track minus the drift 13 equals 80 degrees. And this now is the heading that we're looking to fly. We'll check that's correct by sticking it in the Whizz wheel. So we'll set up the wind, mark that on there, spin that round to the track, set up the TAS as well, and just balance that. Straight away, anywhere between 80 and 81 degrees. So that's plus or minus 1 degree, very, very accurate indeed. So using this method, even on the fly, you'll be able to figure out the heading you need to fly.